Hello and welcome to SDNTechForum. Today I'm going to show you how to connect your Splunk with MCP. So we are going to enable MCP server on Splunk so that any MCP host can talk to Splunk using MCP server. So that is pretty straightforward. What you have to do, you have to go and install a MCP server app in your Splunk base. I have done that already for you. So you can see we have Splunk MCP server, and from here you can create MCP encrypted token, and this token will be used in your MCP host or MCP client to talk to this Splunk server. There is a nice documentation available here. So let me go ahead and click on documentation. And here you can see about MCP server. What I want to show you is the screenshot. Simple three-step process. Open the Splunk MCP server app in your Splunk platform. Generate a new encrypted token. Copy the token for your use. So you're going to use the token, not the key name. Keep that in mind. And here's the screenshot showing what you can do. All right, so let's go ahead and generate a token from our Splunk server. And here I'm going to say create MCP encrypted token, or I can hit manage token. So let me show you manage token, because just a moment before I created a MCP encrypted token, but you see the issued at an expiration 618 and 718 pretty much same time. So by default, if you don't provide any expiration date, it is only valid for 30 days. All right, what we can do, I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I want something which is way longer than 30 days. So let's go ahead and delete and generate a new token. And I'm going to say create MCP encrypted token. Audience, you can see audience is fixed to MCP. Relative time, that means plus 365 days. Let's go ahead and say create. Copy the token because you will need this token in your MCP config. And we are good to close this here. Let's click on manage token and let's see what we have generated today. This is the new token because it is issued on 618. And see, the expiration is now 6/8/27, exactly a year. And this is my token name. But remember, this is just a token ID. Actual token was shown only once, and you need to copy that and keep it handy somewhere. Now I have everything what we needed from Splunk side. Let's go ahead and add this encrypted token in MCP client. All right, once you have the MCP encrypted token, what do you need? You need to install MCP server, and there are plenty of MCP servers available either from Splunk or from community. You can find one in my GitHub repo. This is a public repo, SDNTechForum, and then Splunk. This MCP server is implemented as Docker. You can choose multiple options while deploying your MCP server. However, this is using Docker. We talk about all the functionalities here, and what you need to know is where you are going to declare those MCP token, encrypted token that we collected from Splunk itself, right? So that goes into your environmental file. Let me show you a sample of MCP server connectivity. If you are using Cursor or Cloud AI, all you need is this. You need to declare your MCP server using fast MCP and then your environment details. That means your Splunk host IP address, username, and then API token. Once you have done that, you will see on your IDE, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. You will see the IDE has connected with MCP server and discovered all the tools and skills and resources if there are any. So let me go back and show you my IDE. All right, here is my Cursor IDE, and you can see I have a bunch of MCP server attached to this. However, point to note, we are working with a Splunk Docker-based implementation, and this is essentially that server. You can see we have 52 tools, 3 prompt, and 19 resources available, and it all comes from that GitHub repo. Here you can expand the tools, resources, and skills. All right, so this is already connected. Once it is connected, that means your IDE can use those tools. So let's start our investigation. That means talking to MCP server or Splunk box in natural language. That means you can just question and answer and give direction to troubleshoot. So you'll see me asking, while I was working, I figured that there are some issues with Splunk. So I'm asking, please investigate which indexes are working and which are dead in this Splunk. You might have come back and fix this issue, because I was like working on some other stuff. So I just wanted to take a snapshot what is wrong with the Splunk server and come back and troubleshoot this again. So you can see it has run all the Splunk queries here. And summarization, the instance is frozen, not just some feed. And here's all the detail is healthy at freeze, 17 indexes. It's listing all the indexes, how long they are dead for. That is also listed. And then tier 3 empty and all kind of thing. All right. Finally, it is asking me, want me to save this as a short report so that it is captured as a snapshot, and then we can come back and troubleshoot. So I said save it, and now we have the issue captured. Once I have the issue captured and I'm done with my task, I came back to this, and now look the context. I added a new folder named issues, and it has one open finding inside it. And what is that finding? The finding is Splunk index health troubleshooting. So I'm restarting the context. Now my agent is actually reading the finding from the Splunk server and summarizing it. You can see the same thing because it's just reading the markdown file. And then, so it is proposing the troubleshooting. I can do phase 0, or I can mirror a phase plan, right? You want me to kick off the phase 0. So now we are actively troubleshooting, and you see it is taking steps. That means it is not only using Splunk MCP server. It figured that Splunk MCP is a VM, and that means we can use vsphere MCP server to investigate the VM health first. So it has a problem statement. It broken down that problem statement into subtasks. The task is to troubleshoot the MCP, and it is now actively trying to perform those tasks in sequence or parallel manner to root cause this. So it has proposed a troubleshooting plan. I'm going to say yes, please. And now you can see it is running the troubleshooting stepwise. Splunk is powered on, VM is powered on. So it has alleviated our concern that maybe indexes were paused because the VM was shut down or snapshotted, but looks like that is not a problem. Then it's starting to discover other things like disk space, etc. And you can see we have the enough horsepower, so disk space is not a problem. And it continued to troubleshoot, and now it is giving me recommendation where the recovery stands. So it is actually asking me that you have the bloated indexes taking a lot of space. You can go ahead and either delete some of them to free up the space, or you can just create a headroom in the original data store. Recommendation recovery option 1, A and B. And then you see I am actually asking it to create a canvas. And what is a canvas? Canvas is like a React app, and it is only rendered in Cursor IDE. So now you see we had the chat summary, and I have transformed the chat summary by asking the AI to create a canvas. And here it is all verbose statements are there where we started, what are the changes we have made. So on this date, no live data since 13 days, how many healthy indexes, how many dead indexes, and so on. And it also captured the recovery recommendation and a lot of other troubleshooting detail, whatever troubleshooting it has done, a lot of troubleshooting detail. And look at this active troubleshooting runbook. So this is actually a very good tool. Now we can collaborate instead of me troubleshooting, remembering the context. I can actually collaborate with my team and have this canvas shared with team, and maybe I can run the phase 0 check at my side, but I'm not able to run phase 1 because I don't own the compute domain and the VMware. But here they can actively go and perform their task and say, yes, this task is done, this task is done, and I can see that in real time. So this is a very nice collaborative tool here, as you can see. And by just asking question, asking AI to investigate the Splunk health and make a recommendation to fix that, we have easily solved a very critical issue. So this is the power of AI. It's more than automation, it's more than a workflow. It brings the intelligence into operation, and it can have cross-domain knowledge. That is a real power of MCP and operational intelligence. Thank you for watching.